Battlefield 6 just got released, so I bought pistols, a shotgun, submachine guns, assault rifles, a DMR, sniper, and even a crazy grenade launcher just like the ones in the game. Not only will we be unboxing them and testing them out, I'm also going to give them a rating out of 10, not only to the Airsoft version, but also to the Battlefield 6 version. Let's jump straight into the video and check out our very first Airsoft gun from the brand new game, Battlefield 6.
The first one I actually already own. This is the pistol you actually start out with in the game. Everyone's basically using these until you unlock new ones. In Battlefield 6, this is the P18. The real still one is again called the same thing, the P18 as well. The main difference between this one and the one in the game is it's just a little bit more compact, but it's pretty much the same pistol. I haven't gotten the chance to play the game a whole bunch, but I am level 20, so I have some experience with this pistol, and I don't have too many complaints. Definitely takes a couple shots to kill someone, but it's not too bad.
To start off our testing with the P18, let's go ahead and do a chronograph test.
Pretty consistent, not shooting super hot, basically the same as most gas-like pistols, just above that 280 to like 310 mark.
I also bought a new helmet that looks just like the one in Battlefield 6, and I'm also using a few different new camera angles, so let me know if you guys like those.
So for a shooting test, we have two different targets. We have this guy right here at about 50 feet away. We're going to interchange a little bit of distance, but basically where this one's going to be about 50 feet away, and we have one way over there by that huge wooden structure that's about 125 feet away. You might need to move closer to that one depending on the airsoft gun, but let's first start with this one.
For each one of the Airsoft guns, we're going to do these two different accuracy and range tests just to get an idea of how it performs. That will help later on when we actually rate them each to see how they do out of 10. Now let's go ahead and switch out magazines and see how it does at 125 feet.
For the price, I can't really complain too much. Obviously, I wish all these Airsoft guns were cheaper, but for the price, it kind of justifies it. The externals are a pretty good quality. Got a nice metal slide, nice finish. The lower feels good too, despite it being plastic. All the controls seem very nice as well. I can't really complain too much about this one's externals whatsoever. Overall, just a little bit of wobble with the platform, but that's pretty normal for most Airsoft pistols. For a pistol with a metal slide, honestly, the kickback is actually a pretty medium feel. It's not super heavy, not super light. It's a good little medium feel. It's a good mix of performance and obviously realism. If you're a big fan of the starter pistol in Battlefield 6, would definitely recommend this one for Airsoft. I think overall I'd rate this platform probably a 8 out of 10.
Now let's talk about the rating for Battlefield 6. And I thought this was a great choice from the developers for the first pistol you get in the game. It's a pistol after all, you're not going to be outgunning anything in the game, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's basically supposed to be an emergency if you can't reload in time. But for what it is, it's pretty solid. I would rate it a nice 7 out of 10.
There is quite an abundant amount of guns in Battlefield 6, so of course we had to get as much different variations as we possibly could. But we're going to be starting with the pistols and pretty much just working our way up to more and more powerful Airsoft guns. Ooh, here we go. Next up is actually one of my favorites. One of my favorite pistols ever made in Airsoft. I've actually acquired a few of these over the years, and this is still one of my favorite pistols ever in existence. In Battlefield 6, this is the ES57. The real steel one is, of course, the FN57, and this is the Tokumuri 57. A lot of these you'll notice they'll kind of mix up the names, as obviously they can't get the proper licensing for the actual real steel ones, but sometimes they can get away with variations of it. For example, the ES57 versus the FN57. That's why you'll notice throughout the video some of the names are a little bit weird and definitely way off than the real steel versions or even the Airsoft versions. Being from Tokumuri, this is not a cheap pistol, and as you can see, the packaging is actually pretty cool too. Got a really nice elaborate owner's manual, as well as some feed lips and a little bag of BBs, as well as that classic huge FN57 magazine. These of course use the same real steel rounds as the P90 if you did not know, so that's why these magazines are very thick. And here it is in all of its glory. Very nice, got a little hop-up tag right there. Like the real steel one, this is made up of some kind of plastic, so it's actually more realistic than you would think for being plastic. It's really cool. I actually did get a chance to shoot a real steel version of this gun. It definitely feels a little bit more high quality than the Airsoft version, but it does feel pretty similar. Gotta be one of the widest pistol grips on any pistol. It's absolutely hilarious, but it's definitely unique, let's say that. Straight from the box, straight to the chronograph. What will this guy chrono? Brand new 5.7. Let's see how it does. Ooh. Looks to be holding a little bit higher FPS than the M17, but basically the same thing. So crispy. Oof.
I know, I'm pretty biased because I love the 5.7, but I personally in general did think this one did shot more crispy and was more satisfying to shoot, and honestly did shoot more accurately than that previous P18. Overall, I think it's just a better pistol. Obviously, it's quite a bit more expensive. If I were to be honest, the performance on both of these honestly is pretty similar, so I just go whatever one you honestly think looks better, but if you really were nitpicking on performance, I do think the Kokumri does take it.
That is crispy. Overall, these two are pretty comparable, the M17 and the 5.7. I'd say this one shoots a tiny bit more consistently straight, but overall they are pretty similar. Yeah, this thing is no joke for a pistol. FPS could be higher, obviously, but that is so smooth straight to the target about 100 feet away. The word I would use is crispy. This thing just shoots super nice. Despite it being plastic, it is a Kokumri, so it has some of that magic from the internals. Just shoots really consistently, really accurately, and the hop-up is good too. Can't really complain at all really much about the internals. I think nowadays these are like $200, which is insane. Back when I was a kid, this used to be like almost half the price, so that's a little terrible. And the magazines, of course, like any other gas like Airsoft gun, are gonna be expensive as well. But the trigger response is very responsive and very crispy as well. But if you are a big 5.7 fan, I would recommend this one. I would rate this one, I think the price is a little tough. I'd probably rate this one at 8.5 out of 10.
I pretty much just unlocked this pistol and didn't really get a whole bunch of time to actually play with it, but I did take it to the firing range. But I do have to say this one shoots way better than the actual original pistol. It shoots way more consistent, has less of a recoil, and seems to be able to shoot a lot faster as well, making it just overall way better than the P18. We're gonna actually rate this thing exactly the same as we did the Airsoft version, 8.5.
We are moving up to the shotgun category. This is gonna be fun. Hallelujah. That is a silver boy. Looks pretty cool. Obviously, you could choose this in different colors, but I thought silver was pretty unique. I couldn't get the exact variation of this one, but we got pretty close. Very simple box, just styrofoam. You get one shell, one speed loader, some BBs, and the airsoft gun itself. In Battlefield 6, this is the M87A1. And the real steal is the Mossberg 580A1 Magpul. For a spring shotgun, it comes in at $85, and this is the SEMA M870 for the airsoft name. Right when you start Battlefield 6, you already unlock this shotgun, and let me tell you, this is one of the most broken shotguns I've ever seen in any video game in my entire life. Maybe I've just been super unlucky, but I swear I've gotten shot from like 100 feet away with this thing with one shot. Is absolutely ridiculous. This is a 30 round little shell, and this is a tri-shot shotgun as well. That means there is 3 separate barrels. So you get 10 shots per shell. This thing is super lightweight despite that huge size. You have a nice little area right here to actually load up the shell. Got a little flappy boy right there that those definitely break sometimes. Load up the shell right there, turn it off safety, pump it up, and you're ready to go. Pretty simple. Interesting. About this 50-ish feet away, maybe a little bit more, it just, the groupings are not the best. Maybe 2 will get on the target, but 1 just kind of goes spraying off there. Not very optimistic about this distance. Let's see how it goes. Wow, hop-up's pretty crazy. The BBs are actually getting there, maybe 1 or 2 of them. Kind of one always just goes a little bit lower. But wow, the accuracy is absolute dog poop.
Yeah, at this distance, you really can't hit anyone. It'd be really tough. The BB spread is just absolutely insane. I don't actually remember them being this bad, but it's pretty bad. Looks pretty cool though, at least seeing 3 BBs fly through the air.
Yikes. That's pretty bad. Definitely, I would keep this one maybe just for breaching. Distance is definitely not its friend. It is safe to say that this shotgun in Airsoft has worse range than the shotgun in the game, which is very surprising. Under $100 for this shotgun. Obviously, the external quality is gonna have some creaks and rattles, and it's, you know, just all plastic design. But overall, for what it is, it does work. It shoots 3 BBs at once, which is a really cool little fun fact. These things are reliable. It's the most simple system you could probably get in Airsoft besides a spring sniper. So for a reliable backup Airsoft gun to take to your game day, I don't really blame you for having one of these with your kit. The issue does come down to performance. It is cheap, so I am keeping that in mind, but the groupings are pretty rough. I could have sworn I shot ones like this in the past and they were a little bit better. Maybe it's just this one in particular. Usually this spread is a little bit better up to maybe like 75 feet, but this one I feel like 30 to 50 feet away, even the spread is just like this. I'm not sure what's going on. And maybe, you know, within like 30 to 50 feet, it's pretty decent. You get 3 different chances to hit someone, but any further than that, you're really not gonna hit anyone. Overall, with the price, I'd probably rate this one maybe like a 6 out of 10.
Not the most incredible rating for the Airsoft version, but the Battlefield 6 version, that's where things really step up. This is gonna be, like I was saying, one of the craziest shotguns I've ever used in any video game I've ever played. It is pretty insane some of the shots you can get with it. Overall, there's not really much I'd change about this one. This one is definitely a 10 out of 10 shotgun.
Next up, let's move straight to the submachine gun category. When I play Battlefield 6, I'm probably at least playing a submachine gun class about half the time. In my opinion, there are some very good submachine guns in the game. And if you get your recoil pattern right, you can pretty much beam someone from almost the same distance as an assault rifle in the game. And this is actually the first submachine gun you unlock in the game. Or actually, you don't even unlock it, you just get it right when you start. In Battlefield 6, this is the SGX. The real steel is the SIG MCX, and the Airsoft name is the SIG Proforce Sportline MPXK. This one comes in at $160, so not crazy expensive, but definitely not a springer at all. You got some cool stats on the back and on the front. The box looks pretty decent. It is just cardboard that is painted, but it looks pretty nice. It's supposedly we have a 300 FPS muzzle velocity. We'll test it out soon. As well as the weight weighs 3.7 pounds. The magazine holds 100 BBs, and we have a adjustable hobble with a 140 millimeter inner barrel size. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got. Okay, well, that's a simple box. Here's the 100 round mid-cap magazine right here. Very, you know, cheap feeling, kind of shiny, glossy plastic on this one, but I'm pretty sure if you drop this thing, it's probably not going to be very easy to break. This looks like pretty indestructible, if I were to guess. This is the Airsoft gun itself. Actually does look a little bit higher quality than I was originally expecting. It does have that awesome MPX foldable stock. Not a very reassuring click on this side, but it's better than nothing. Definitely a little wobbly. You could definitely, if you wanted to, tear this off from its mount right there. So that's not very reassuring. This is basically a plastic brick, so it's not the most high quality. We have a tiny bit of metal, like some screws, but for the most part, this thing is fully plastic. Obviously, we have metal internals. You can see the gearbox right there, but metal is very limited. You can't even pull back the dust cover to adjust a hop up. What? Really? Guess you could do it by hand. Wow, that's what? Very shaky in there too. Yikes. Okay, this thing, we'll see how it does. I'm a little hesitant now. The price is pretty cheap, so yeah, this thing is either gonna be a very good deal or not good at all. This is a front wired submachine. As you can see, you're gonna have to somehow fit the battery in this rail up here, which really does not leave you much space at all to put a battery, but that's where you're gonna have to deal with. This is actually probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite guns I've ever used in Battlefield 6. Again, I'm only like level 20, give or take, so I haven't had the chance to unlock every single gun in the game yet, but man, I've gotten some crazy long distance kills with this gun in the game. There is not a lot of recoil, and if you don't miss your shots, you can absolutely laser someone super far with this thing, despite it being the first submachine gun you unlock in the game. We did have a battery that did fit in here, but it was not really big enough. It kind of shot really bad, so we improvised. This is a 9.6 volt. Let's see how she does. Wow, pretty low. Test the RPS. Not too bad for a 9.6, about that 13 to 15 RPS. Yeah, it's gonna be a little embarrassing for this one. Sorry about that, didn't have the right battery. As long as you don't shoot the wires, you should be good. See how it is about that 50 feet? No issues at all at 50 feet. Let's try about a little bit past 100 feet here. Let's do 125. I'm gonna try to hop up quite a bit here. Oh, hop up started to engage there a little bit too much. Wow. Honestly, not bad. 125 feet away is easy for this one. See how far we could get here. Maybe like 150 feet away. Wow. Honestly, for the FPS, this thing is really impressive. This one surprised me the most so far. This one, for the price, honestly, I think is a decent deal. It shoots really far, the consistency is there. Shoots like any other normal AEG for the price point, even probably shoots a little bit better than some AEGs that cost maybe even like 50% more. The main cons with this one, I would say, is just the overall quality of the externals. I mean, you could probably break this off super easily if you tried. Every touch point of this thing is plastic. The mag is super wobbly in there, as you could see right there. But they had to cut corners somewhere, I guess, to get the price down. Overall, if you don't really care about the external feel and you just want this platform, the MPX, actually would look at this thing as a potential airsoft gun for you. And of course, having that front wired system is a little rough, but if you had a PQ box battery box on the top and you ran a riser with a red dot and a tracer, I think it would be a pretty cool setup. But overall, this one did surprise you. Just probably don't drop it more than a couple times.
I'm gonna have to rate this one a 7 out of 10. And the Battlefield 6 version actually matches that as well. It's a very solid starter submachine gun. I would expect something with this level of performance to be one of the last ones you actually unlock. It's very stable, shoots really fast, the recoil is very minimal as well, has enough rounds in the magazine as well. There's not really a huge weak point of this one. If you use this thing enough and get pretty comfortable with it, you could definitely do some damage with this one. I think all of my best games I've actually played with Battlefield 6 have all been with this submachine gun. Honestly, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to rate this one a 9.5 out of 10. It is just too good not to rate high.
Next up, we have another submachine gun as well. In Battlefield 6, this is known as the SCW-10. The real steel version is the B&T APC-10. And the airsoft name, last but not least, is the Lambda Defense B&T license GHM9C. Very basic packaging, it's just cardboard with a big sticker on it. It is made in Taiwan, got a really cool license, and it is gas blowback, believe it or not. So I'm very excited to test this one out. In the game, this one is a fully black gun, but I thought it'd be cool to get a dual tone look. It just kind of spices up this look a little bit. Here is the magazine, kind of reminds me of the MP9 magazine. You load the green gas right at the top right there, and I believe it holds maybe 40 or 50 rounds. The owner's manual is pretty basic, nothing too crazy. If I were to guess, I think this is a little mount to put on the Picatinny rail to mount a sling potentially. But besides the mag and that piece, that's pretty much all you get in this box. This guy is a pretty quirky little one, pretty lightweight too. It basically feels like an oversized pistol, as you can imagine. Oh, looks like we also have one more piece. Oh, that makes sense. There's the bolt right there. You gotta at least screw that in or click it in somehow. Ah, more you know. It's got a tiny little M-lock spot on that little front right there. It's so funny how small that like rail is. Got ambidextrous mag releases. Got a super quirky little fire and safe mode right there. Got the really cool B&T Switzerland logo as well. So this company does make different variations of this type of platform. There's the MPC-10, the MPC-9. I think this one is the GHM-9. So we tried to get as close as we could to the one actually in the game. This one's technically a little bit different, but they're very comparable platforms. We also got a extra magazine as well. Very nice. I think these come in at $40. And because the one in the game actually comes with a stock, we did get a full stock for this bad boy. Really consistent, but super low FPS. 60, that's not right. Bro, 900? All right. Yeah, this thing's just not working very well. Yikes. All right, we're tearing off the new mag and seeing if that will work. All right. Looks like that's as good as we're gonna get, about that 12 to 13 RPS. Not the most fast cycling airsoft gun I've ever seen, especially for a submachine gun. Didn't even feed all the BBs. Notice this one's really sensitive. And the bolt like kind of doesn't want to like come all the way back sometimes. It kind of gets in a weird place. I don't know about that. It's weird. It's like not the most quality there. Unless I like installed the thing wrong.
I went to swap the second mag in, and I was lucky for buying two because this next one, the gas system totally stopped working. It would just not hold gas whatsoever. This one is pretty much toasted.
Oh, what? Okay, this one I'm very confident it's not going to be accurate at this range, but who knows? Could surprise us. What the? Honestly, better than I thought it was gonna be. The BBs are kind of inconsistent in a weird way though. Didn't turn up the hop up whatsoever, so keep that in mind. The BBs are gonna be needing to be shot up a little bit. More and more I shoot this thing, it's kind of like breaking in almost, and now it's shooting pretty accurate, honestly. What the All right, got some little corks, as you could see. Okay, this little guy's got me having mixed feelings. Starting out with the externals, I love the actual feel of this thing. It feels really nice. It's not overly heavy, not overly light. It has a good little feel. Adding this stock really helped with my personal likability of this platform. It just makes it really nice and compact and easier to actually shoot. But overall, I think the externals are not bad. Maybe like an 8.5 out of 10. I can't really complain too much about this one. Yes, it is plastic on the lower, but it's not bad at all. It's pretty high quality plastic. Not worried about that breaking. The trigger is very stiff. It's a little bit too stiff for my liking to get out shots really fast, but it does feel kind of realistic, so that's kind of nice. The main thing for me that I don't really like about this one is kind of the just consistency overall. I had weird troubles with one of the mags. Thank God I bought a second magazine. It kind of just like stopped working. But my big complaint about this one is kind of just the reliability and consistency. Maybe I got a weird example of it, but honestly, for the price tag, I do wish this one shot way better, to be honest. For the quality on the like gas system itself, the internals, I'd maybe even rate like a 6 out of 10, maybe even a 5 out of 10. It just kind of like not really the most consistent thing I've ever shot. Even there does it a little bit as well. I mean, is it cool? Is it unique? Definitely. If you love this platform, would I recommend just completely skipping it? Maybe not. You can maybe upgrade some things. And if you're a really big fan of this type of airsoft gun, I would maybe spin the dice and try your luck. But if you want a reliable airsoft gun to take to the field and you really just like the looks of this thing, maybe go with something else like an MP7, MP9 or something like that. Gonna probably rate this one maybe like a 6 out of 10. I really wanted to like this one and I thought I would have, just that reliability is not there.
Here's the deal. I heard some good things about the submachine gun, but in my personal experience, I wasn't really a big fan. My biggest issue is the magazine capacity when you first unlock it. Unless you're lasering every single shot at someone, you really can't get much more than 1 kill with a magazine, which for a submachine gun definitely slows down your gameplay. And overall, I just don't think it's as strong as the first one you get. Obviously, I don't have a lot of attachments on it as well, so that could be weighing my opinion down, but overall I think to play it safe I'm gonna rate it a 6 out of 10.
Next up, let's move to the assault rifles. I've actually featured this one in a previous video as well, but had to throw this one back in there. This thing is just super cool to show off again. And of course, it's the first assault rifle you will unlock in the game. This is the M4A1 in the game. In real life, it is the M4A1 again, I believe made by Colt. And the Airsoft version again is the M4A1 and the brand is GHK. This is a fully gas blowback M4, so very realistic to the real one. Gas-like airsoft rifles are usually driving a pretty penny, especially if they come from a good brand like this. This one is $650 brand new. About that 370 with 1.3 joules. Check out the RPS now.
As you can imagine, absolutely no trouble at 50 feet, and then also scooting back to 75 feet, no issues whatsoever. You could easily hit some nice headshot groupings at this distance. Great accuracy out of the box. So at 125 feet, definitely not as good as the closer test, but it's definitely still doable. You're definitely just gonna have to take your time and try to get some good precise shots. This one is definitely not gonna shoot like a super high performance AEG.
The M4A1. Got a beautiful kickback as you just saw. The externals are amazing as well. Got awesome trades. Nothing really feels off with this one as far as quality. I mean, the stock is a little bit wobbly, but that's not too bad. Everything else feels very nice. The realism is pretty much a 9 out of 10. Recoil, probably also 9 out of 10. The only issue I would say is mainly the price, honestly. $650 is steep for any airsoft gun, and each one of these mags I think is like $50 or $60, and that definitely adds up if you're gonna add some to your kit. And obviously the fun factor is there is too. This thing shoots really cool. I'd probably overall rate this maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. The main thing knocking it down pretty much is just the price and how expensive it is for everything. I mean, just to get a full kit, just a stock one of these with some extra mags is almost like $1,000. But if you got the big wallets, would recommend.
This one was a very surprising one for me to play with in Battlefield 6. Usually the first M4 assault rifle in any game is usually pretty solid. I can't say it wasn't a good gun in the game, but it kind of plays like a weird hybrid between an actual assault rifle and a submachine gun. Once you get to those bigger ranges, the accuracy and range start acting up a little bit, and the recoil is pretty heavy with this one, even despite it being just an M4. Might be just because I have no attachments on it, but my initial impression was not the best with this one. Overall, and everything in consideration, I think I'm gonna rate this one a 7 out of 10.
Next up, we have another assault rifle I actually already own, but this is not a standard one you would just buy from the store. This one's definitely got some fun tricks up its sleeve. I'm not exactly sure if this is a one-to-one replica from the Airsoft version to the one in the game, but this is the closest one I could find. It looks pretty similar. In Battlefield 6, this is the AK-205, as well as the real steel version shares the same name. And to be honest with you, I've had this thing for a few years now, and the Airsoft version, I have actually no idea what this is. And I believe the brand is LCT, but I don't really know for sure. But don't worry, this is not just a normal stock Airsoft gun. This thing is actually fully upgraded. And again, it's been so long, I don't exactly know what parts are in this one, but I do know it's got upgraded electronics, and I believe a redone gearbox with upgraded gears. The only thing I think is actually stock about this one is the hop up and the barrel setup, but I think everything else internally is fully upgraded, so it should shoot pretty damn good. I think this build, including the actual price of the gun, is I think well over $700. We got a nice little mag that comes with it stock, and we do have some nice clear PTS mags to try in this one as well. I'm gonna do 11.1 volt and see how she shoots, and then we'll go to full auto. Here we go. Ooh. Damn, that's consistent. That's really crazy consistency. Like, give or take 1 FPS maybe? Not the highest FPS though, this one has kind of a lower powered spring in there. About a joule, 320-ish FPS. Let's see the RPS now. Ooh! Oh my gosh! 29 that time. Damn! 27. Dude, the burst from like my POV is crazy. Look at this.
Oof, that is easy. Hi there. Oh. Wow, that's, I mean, that is just easy mode. Yeah, I mean, how the hop up like turned up maybe halfway, this thing is shooting really well. Auto is pretty crazy. Overall, the quality in this one is pretty solid. I can't speak too much on how the performance is. Obviously, this one is modified, so kind of throws off the purpose there, but these things are pretty decent stock. Absolutely insane semi-automatic and full auto. The quality on the externals, this one is pretty solid as well. I think around $400 new if I were to guess. Performance is not as good as some other brands out there, just straight outside the box, but for an AK, it does perform pretty well. Overall, if you are an AK fan and you do love this one from Battlefield 6, I would actually recommend this one. Out of 10, I'd probably rate this a 7 out of 10. Usually not a big AK person in Airsoft, and especially not in video games, and wow, this one was actually really good. This one felt way more competitive than that M4. It was way more consistent, had better accuracy in range potentially than the M4 in my experience, and just shot a straight beam at the target. Really solid assault rifle. I think this is actually because they're utilizing the 4.45 round, not the 7.62 round in this AK. Makes it way more smooth instead of that traditional super hard kicking AK round. Was really not expecting this at all whatsoever. And I'm gonna have to rate this one pretty strong. I'm gonna have to give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10.
This should probably be one of my favorite, if not my favorite ones of the video. We're now moving up to the DMR category, or Designated Marksman Rifle for short. Ooh, that is nice. Damn, I'm glad I got the silver one. This looks sick. This is the first DMR you get in the game, and this is the M39 EMR. The real steel version is the MK14 Mod 0 EBR, and the Airsoft version is the SEMA Sport Full Metal M14 EBR. And this one comes in at $350, definitely pretty pricey. And I could tell from this box, a very heavy airsoft gun to say the least. In the box, we have a bag of BBs. We also have the magazine as well. This is a high cap one as well. And surprisingly, another attachment right here, but I'll get to why they actually include that in the box really soon. But let's check this thing out, dude. Ooh, yo, this is crazy, dude. This thing looks really cool. Honestly, for airsoft gun, this thing looks pretty nice. You do see from the right side a crazy big piece of wire sticking out, because this is technically a front wired airsoft gun, so it is an AEG, it's not gas blowback. Dude, this stock system is so sick. Dude, okay, this has got to be one of the sickest airsoft guns I've seen. Yo, this is so nice, dude. Dude, these iron sights are so hard to see. Like, even if I'm fully pressed on my cheek, I can't even like possibly look through the iron sights. It's so low on the actual rail. Here's a little hop up adjustment right there. Super loose. That's a little sketchy, to be honest. Definitely need to tighten that up. Yikes. Figured out by now, that's why they gave you this battery box. To set this one up, because it is front wire, because you got that super nice stock, you have to actually put a battery in this box somehow, and then of course fit the wire through this little window on the back, and then basically that's where your battery is going to be hiding. So you could still utilize that really cool EBR stock, but you're gonna still be able to use a decently sized battery. This is a looker to say the least. Very cool airsoft gun, but does it perform as well as it looks? There's only one way to figure it out. Go ahead and see the FPS. This is a DMR after all, so should be pretty hot. All right, not as hot as I was expecting. I thought we would shoot just above 400 FPS, but the consistency is there. This thing probably would shoot pretty nice. We got 1.24 joules as well, and about that 365 FPS. Now let's try that RPS and see what we could do. For a DMR, can't complain too much, about 15 RPS.
For our EBR, obviously this thing is made to shoot at some longer distances, but let's go ahead and just see how the consistency and accuracy is at about 75 feet. This will kind of represent more of a headshot distance. And then of course we'll go back to longer ranges to see what it could really do.
I do wish it shot a little bit higher FPS, but not bad.
Now we're finally testing what this thing could really do. I'd say we're about 200 feet away. Let's see if it could actually hit a good distance.
Easy at that range. The EBR actually did surprise me. For our pros list, I really thought the quality was pretty decent, obviously. There's a little bit of wobble in the magazine, but other than that, the external quality is actually pretty solid with this one. And usually with AGs, you're not gonna have a really satisfying bolt as they're kind of useless, maybe just to adjust the hop up, but this one, that's a really nice one, just kind of satisfying to pull that back. I love the stock system as well, very cool little system. The metal and the paint finish are pretty decent as well. The performance isn't anything that's gonna blow your socks off, but for the price point and the external quality, and obviously there's not a crazy amount of these on the market, and obviously the reliability from SEMA, I think this is actually a pretty decently good deal if you're super into EBRs. I didn't really like, obviously, that huge PQ box you have to put on the side, but if you do want that really cool stock, that's gonna be a sacrifice you're gonna have to make. Overall, out of 10 for the price point, everything, I do think this is a solid 8 again.
In a game like Battlefield 6, you think the EBR would be a really strong platform, and maybe I'm just a little biased here, but I didn't really like it too much. I had better experiences just kind of turning some rifles on semi-automatic to get some kills at longer distances rather than switching to this DMR. It's a really weird middle ground. There's like a slight range where this is better than a rifle on semi-automatic, but not as good as obviously the sniper at some bigger distances, so it's a really weird platform to use. I think it just had a crazy kickback and maybe just took a little bit longer to kill people than I would like. Out of 10, I'd probably rate it maybe a 6 out of 10. Before we go on to the grand finale of today's video, we have a little bonus one. This is the Ares M320 40mm grenade launcher. It comes in at $235. In Battlefield 6, you can either use this as a underbarrel grenade launcher or a standalone unit. Same with the real one. This one takes any Airsoft 40mm shell, and there is quite a few of options, but in today's video, we're going to be using these super nice Ace Tech ones. These can use anything from BB clouds to BB streams, even pyrotechnic grenades. But just so we don't burn the field down, we're going to use a simple BB cloud one for today.
This will solve all of your problems. Enemy in a building. Dead. Enemy outside in the building. Dead. Enemy far away. Dead. Man, I love this thing. I mean, imagine this was you. You'd be done for. Only main caveat is that range. We're sitting about 100 feet away. Let's go to the max on this and see if we can actually hit it. Oh, the BB's kind of sprinkling the target, but not really hitting it super direct, but they do get there. So I'd say max range with these, of course, type of grenades is about 100 feet away. That pop is so satisfying, though. Oh, look at the butterfly. But yeah, if they are anywhere close, they are done for. Just look at all these BBs, bro. A lot of the performance with something like this is gonna be up to the actual airsoft grenade shells, not the actual platform itself. But this does a very good job. All of the externals feel nice. There's a lot of metal and plastic combination to make it overall have a nice lightweight feel, but obviously still have some high quality parts on there as well. Pretty much everything that would be metal that you would need to be is metal, and everything that just kind of makes it more lightweight and obviously mimic the real one is plastic. So can't really complain too much about the externals. There's a little bit of play in some of the parts as well, but that's pretty normal for airsoft stuff. So I'd say the external quality is probably like a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, this thing is super simple. It's literally just a pin that goes back and forth and hits the bottom of the grenade shell. So, I mean, obviously it's gonna work pretty much every time depending on your shells. If you are super into having your own grenade launcher on the field, I would recommend something like this. And if you're super into the one in Battlefield 6, I would recommend this one in Airsoft as well. I think my rating for this one, I'm gonna give it maybe an 8 out of 10. It just does everything you want it to do. It's pretty solid. Ooh, baby, check this out. You already know what we got, boys. This was the first one I bought for this video. Very excited to test this one, as you can probably tell. In a Battlefield 6, this is the M2010 ESR. The real steel is the Remington 82010 Enhanced, and the Airsoft version is the Ares MSR 338. Definitely a very big price tag on this one. It comes in at $520, I believe. I think I got lucky and I got mine on sale for around like high 300s, but regardless, still very expensive. This should be nice. Ooh, I forgot I got in this color too. That's so sick. So this is the first one you do get in Battlefield 6 as well, so I've been definitely ripping this one a fair amount. And let me tell you, for the stock sniper, honestly, all the guns in the game, these stock submachine gun, pistol, rifles, everything in the game, honestly, the first version is really solid. I kind of like that about Battlefield 6 because it lets newer players kind of get in and not just like outgunned by some crazier guns. Every gun seems to be pretty balanced in the game so far. Besides that damn shotgun, that thing is broken. Got a crazy long feeding tube to actually load up the magazine. That is a thick and long boy. Here's the little magazine right here, or should I say big magazine. You do actually have to put the BBs one by one in here. Got a really interesting little loading up mechanism. Should be pretty crispy when it locks in. Very high quality mag. What else do we got in here? Little piece right there. There's a huge cutout for something. What is this? Bunch of nothing in there. What? All right, enough fooling around. Let's go ahead and see what this guy looks like. I totally forgot I got this version. Super sick. Obviously, the one in the game is black, but I thought I would get kind of the fun colors for this video just to spice it up and make it look a little bit better on camera. Ooh, damn. Dude, this thing looks nasty, dude. This looks so good, dude. It's so heavy, but it feels actually really like put together and super solid as well. Got like a little bit of creaking and rattling on the stock, but other than that, this thing feels like a brick, like super solid, like no wobbles at all with this one. You would hope so for that price tag. Got a cool little Ares tag right there. They actually did a full test on it. It looks like it's getting about 1.6 joules. They were testing at 75 Celsius. I got someone named Inspector B actually testing it out. So we'll have to see if their joule reading is actually correct. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to actually pull this bolt back. Let's see how it feels. That's crispy, boys. The paint quality is kind of okay. I was expecting a little bit better. There's some like bubbling right here in the paint and just kind of overall some like scratches and dirt kind of in the paint almost. It kind of just like ruins the texture, if you guys can see that right there. Not the highest quality paint, but some places look good, like the rail, for example. This bolt's actually really not that hard to pull back at all. So nice though. Let's see how she does. Okay, 400 FPS with 1.5 joules. All right. Very consistent up or down a couple FPS and very consistent on the joules, about 1.54 every single time. But I'm curious to see just with the stock power, how far we can actually shoot with this one. Going to be a little weird shooting this with the helmet on, of course, but let's see how this is. One caveat today, forgot my hop-up adjustment tool with this one when I was packing, so we're gonna have just the stock hop-up. I might switch to 0.25 grams if it's just not getting anywhere, but let's see how we can do with 0.3 grams. Ooh. Just feels so nice. Like, the quality is there with this one. I mean... Ooh. Pretty nice. Let's go back just a little bit further now. Wow, that's pretty straight. Yeah, biggest thing today is going to be that hop-up issue. Yeah. Well, it's flying really straight, as you can see. Turns out we do need the hop-up adjustment tool, and I forgot that at home. Nice job. Well, this thing still looks sexy as hell, though. At 125 to 150 feet away, though, we could still hit with 0 hop on with 0.25s. For the MSR, I think the discount, I got it about that 300 mark price. It's actually really high quality, and honestly, for $500, if you did pay the original price, I can't really knock it down too much for the quality. It did have some weird, defects in the paint work. It's not the best quality, but overall, it's not too bad for an airsoft gun. But paying that much, you wish they definitely made it a little bit better, but the overall quality feels really nice. Only thing I complain about is just a little bit of wobble with the stock. Maybe somehow you could fix that on yourself, but everything else feels really nice. The safety feels really good. The bolt as well. Trigger is very easy to press, very easy to control. If you really want to get a good shot with this thing, I think upgrading the FPS and maybe some other upgrades, like the barrel, hop-up buckings, maybe some compression stuff too, would do a long way with this one. I'm not a huge sniper rifle fan, but if I did have to add one to my collection, this is probably one of my favorites ever sold. It has a great mix of modern and super aggressive looks. The actual rubber grip feels really nice as well. The bolt is pretty medium feel to pull back, not too hard, not too light. But overall, this thing is a pretty solid 8. It's just a little expensive.
This is a super satisfying sniper to use in Battlefield 6. These sound effects are awesome. If you get a headshot across the map, this thing is just such a fun experience to play with in the game. Overall, I'd rate this one a 9.5 out of 10.